Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a great start to your Wednesday morning. So today it is the crude oil report. I think I need to slow down because I'm not sure if everyone is going to be able to hear that first part. But as of right now, I took a position during pre-market hours. I saw that degas, due to the sell-off of natural gas during extended hours, it was trending down, right? So its overall direction was an aggressive push down. Started showing signs of a sell-off. I was like, okay, it's going to be a degas day because if natural gas sells off, then that means degas is most likely going to try to go up. But all of a sudden, right as it comes and approaches pre-market hours, guess what? It starts making higher highs, starts making higher lows, and then when it breaks above that middle VWAP, boom, pushes straight up. And then now it's showing signs of a peak formation. As of right now, we're right around, this general area, and it definitely can get rejected. I might have gotten in a little bit too early, so now I'm actually up. I was down about $100 as it sold off to about what was that, like 14, or I don't know. I was down about like $100, but as of right now, now it's recovered a decent amount. Now it comes down to the understanding of like, hey, should I sell my position just due to natural gas being a little bit more on that support side, right? So if it starts to show signs of a support, then it makes sense on probably why I want to lock in profits before it continues to sell off, because as of right now, it's not actively trending up, right? So I can go ahead and get my order ready. It was a 1,000 share position, so it's about $14,000. Which is less than 50% of what my normal position size is. Definitely not bad. $70. It's been 7 minutes since the market has opened. I just wanted to watch it a little bit closer and see if natural gas continues to sell off or if it actually starts to show signs of a bounce, right? So I'm just trying to explain myself as I am trading that specific position. I don't know about you guys, but or about how each and every single one of you is feeling about the overall stocks that I covered yesterday. I had a very difficult time trying to identify any of the stocks that were talked about yesterday as an actual trade. I felt like the volatility in the market, especially for stocks and not so much ETFs, have been a little bit more like inconsistent. So because of that, I wasn't so motivated to take and watch. I didn't see so much opportunity in day trade positions or swing trade positions for any of the stocks that were really talked about. So, Ricky, why don't you ever sleep, my dude? Do I look good? I was like, do I not look like I slept last night? Yeah. I am a little tired, but it's all good. Here we go. Nice little push up. We're up 80, we're up 90. Can we get a solid sell-off on natural gas? If we get a push below this, there we go. So degas there at 21. So again, it's right around that middle view up. It makes sense to me on why it would. Okay, so I'm just gonna lock in profits. And again, I know this might be a little bit too early, but why is my level 2 not on? Come on, Dingleberry Rick. Here you go. All right, so now we're getting signs of a rejection, going back to /NG. Again, sold off, broke below the EMA line. Are we starting to make lower lows? The MACD is still descending. The RSI is still descending. So that's in favor of degas as of right now, right? So this thing hit highs of around, what was that, 1424, and then got rejected. So let's see where it stands. Let me see what you guys are saying. So I actually don't like this shirt. You guys know that I don't like wearing these kind of shirts, but I have to do my laundry, and this was the only shirt that I had. So TQQ broke above the EMA. Gary, I'll go ahead and check that out in just a bit. Pascal saying today's market will make me a present. It's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, man! Thank you again for tuning in on your birthday. Hope you have an amazing day. He's selling now. We got to go in. LOL, JK. You guys are punks. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So it's still trying to show signs of an uptrend. No, it's now starting to show signs of a red candle, which is its first red candle as it's pushed up. So You guys are just full of jokes today. My goodness. Feel free to. Oh, okay, you got your commission at $3.95. That's actually less than what I'm paying. So I'm paying $4.95. I think I need to call them again. It's a dollar. But a dollar saved is a dollar earned, right? All right, let's see. No, yeah, it's starting to show signs of a potential resistance right around that middle VWAP. So. AMD collapsing. I did see that. Someone else talked about AMD, and I saw that it had an aggressive sell-off. It has to do with its earnings. I'm in preparation of its earnings and stuff like that. So kind of makes sense. TNDM just broke above its resistance. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a, again, TNDM is pushing up right now. Is it going to continue to push up all day? Something that we might want to ask ourselves. It did a beautiful job yesterday pushing up. Holy moly, it's Jason Bourne. I'm selling my position. Time to lock in profits. I know I probably am going to sell way too early. There it goes. Just broke above its resistance. And I locked in $140.30 profit. I'm extremely happy with that. Again, that was like within a couple minutes of me buying supposedly the dip during pre-market hours, and then I was down 100, ended up recovering, and now it's starting to show signs of an uptrend. So yeah, it's let me explain to you, like, why can I ask you guys this? Why did I sell right now as it's approaching like the middle VWAP, right? So it's up another like almost 4 cents from where I sold, which isn't really that important, right? But to me, like, /NG was showing signs of a downtrend pattern. Great, right? That overall direction is in favor of, Diaz in that, right? So it sold off, pushed up, and now is selling off. Why is it that I might feel influenced to lock in profits on Diaz? Like, what is something that might happen, right? And again, I could be completely wrong, but I know that normally when something is about to, when something's sold off aggressively and it's trying to show signs of a recovery, especially as it approaches the middle VWAP or the SMA line, any type of like those form of indicators, it could push above it, but then it tends to pull back and maybe consolidate before it continues to uptrend. I don't know if Diaz is going to continue to push up. All I know is that it's at a general area based on that indicator where it might get rejected. So it makes sense on why to lock in profits. Yes, I sold at, what was it, 1424 or 1423, 1423.03. Give me that extra 0.0003 cent, please. But I don't know if it's going to continue to uptrend. So the reason that I'm comfortable selling my position is because I know within that general area, it makes sense, big picture, on why I should lock in profits. And if it continues to uptrend, then guess what? What can we do as investors? What can we do as an investor if it continues to uptrend? Jump back in. Right? As simple as that. Especially, if you're focusing on quality trades, and you're focusing on making sure that every position that you take is something that's worth the investment, then it makes sense that if the value and the opportunity cost is so great and it continues to uptrend, yes, you locked in profits at, like, let's say for me, 1423, and the next potential, and it breaks above the SMA line, which is around 1436. But yes, you did miss out on about 10 to 12 cents of potential profit. But again, that like less than 1% margin in my eyes is so worth giving up to make sure that I feel comfortable locking in profits, and if it continues to uptrend, then I can simply get back in. Yeah, so yeah, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know a lot of you guys are well aware of why I did it. I just wanted to explain a little bit more in detail. So I actually don't know if I'm going to be taking too many positions today. I wanted to do that dip buy position. I did get the alert, or someone in our group did call out SQQ, right? So it's right around that middle VWAP. Again, I don't know if it's going to continue to uptrend. I need more direction, right? Just like yesterday when it consolidated for some time, it pushed up and then sold off all day. I don't want to ride something as it sells off all day. So I need a little bit more confirmation. There we go, consolidating around that middle VWAP. We don't know if it's going to start to sell off or actually continue to pick up. So what I'm going to do is simply set my alert. And if it continues to sell off, then guess what? I don't have to, re-enter. This is kind of making higher highs, right? Kind of making higher highs. It did a little bit of consolidation. And then right as it broke above 930, it started showing more signs of an uptrend. Something that I definitely find attractive, but I need more confirmation, and that's why I put my alerts up here that this thing is starting to move up. I want to see more of a higher high and higher low type of direction. So why were you looking at the 5-minute chart natural gas instead of the 1-minute chart? And the MACD seems to look pretty different than one day. I actually didn't mean to look at the 5-day 1 minute, the 5-day 5 or the 5-day the 5-minute 1 day, 5-minute 1 day. Yeah. So I did not mean to actually look at that when I was looking at natural gas. It's just something that it definitely does look different. The MACD does look a little bit different, but on the 1 day 1 minute, I mean, it's still. It still made sense to me on its overall pattern, how it was trending down, right? So, last time that it picked up, it didn't go as high as it did before. So, same thing I thought could happen, and the overall RSI was pointing down. So, there we go. DGA's back at pretty much at where I bought it at. So, I would have given back my $140 profit that I would have made. Something that we might want to keep a close eye on is this thing going to start to make lower lows, right? Or lower highs? Something that we can definitely take into consideration. But again, do you have to do these dip buys? No, you don't. You don't have to, especially because they are quite risky. All you can do is you can simply be a little bit more patient and wait for the confirmation. Let's see. Yeah, so you guys right now is now starting to show signs of an uptrend. Can you guys believe it? This was one of my positions. Obviously, I didn't sell at the best and exact price point, but it hit highs of 14.28, and I sold at 14.23. That's pretty close to that resistance. It's time to have a great day, right? Here we go, you guys, and then you guys trying to recover, but again, not too sure if it's going to do that. So I'm just going to set my alert for the full break below that middle VWAP and see if we can get a change in that direction. So I'm super happy to, or at least really looking forward to that. So as of right now, we're getting some consolidation going on with drip. Because it pushed up so much today, I want to give it a little bit more time to identify its direction. Is this thing going to continue to try to make higher highs, or is it going to just flatline all day? If it's going to offer a horizontal pattern, I can scalp it later. I just wanted to give it more time to identify its direction for the day. JNUG doing the same thing. Do you guys see this? Trying to trade in between the middle and top VWAP. Let's see if we could start making higher highs. So I'm going to stop talking about the stocks that I was looking at and that I'm trading. And let's just do whatever it is that you guys want. So for the remainder of the live stream, I'm just going to be breaking down stocks that are actively trending up. I don't know if you guys were able to see this, but if you guys didn't check out yesterday's video, right? So I made a video yesterday. So let me go ahead and I made this video yesterday, right? The top stocks for October, just like we do on a weekly basis. And it was about 36 minutes long. Okay, so SQ is making higher highs, just something to take into consideration. I don't know if you guys were able to notice, but I was a little bit, not upset, but a little bit salty with the quality of and I know this isn't like your guys' fault, but the whole point of you having a stock that you're looking at for the entire week is because it's showing signs of an uptrend. And so many of the stocks that were being called out, as in that were shared in the group alerts and watch lists, I'm just going to have to direct message you privately and ask you why you selected that. And I think this is going to be something that I think that will be extremely beneficial, but why you chose something that is not actively trending up and that's still trending down. What was your edge on that? Because I just want to make sure that we understand that the whole point of our top number one stock for the week is because it's actively trending up. Okay, so people talking about Tesla. Oh, wow. Tesla at 300. Wasn't it at 270 yesterday? Holy moly. It's Jason Bourne. My goodness, that's huge. But now it's showing signs of an aggressive sell-off. Oh, it's earnings. Right? Yeah. I would be careful about this. So earnings today at 4:30 Central Time. Okay. Okay. Solid. I like it, Aussie. So NDLS. Again, every stock that is being called out right now needs to be in the ticker call out format. So for Tesla, showing more signs of it being on the overbought side, not so much of a good deal, and it's also potentially going through its earnings today, which could be, a positive or negative catalyst, but based on previous reports, most likely negative. BAC, this one was one of the most common stocks that were talked about yesterday. That was called out. And overall direction, still trending down. The EMA line still pointing down, even with more relevant patterns, right? On the 20-day 1 hour, still pointing down. It's not making higher highs. It's not showing signs of an uptrend. And it just doesn't make sense on why this would be your core focus or your sole focus for this week. Okay, let's check this one out. CROX showing signs of an uptrend pattern, trading between the middle and top VWAP. Pretty low volume, right? 20-day 1 hour, trending down, getting rejected by that SMA. 180-day 4 hour chart, I kind of like it. So as long as we're getting it bounced and as long as we're starting to make higher highs, I think that's what's important. So I'm going to put this one in my watch list and hopefully it, we could just watch it a little bit closer. So great call out. TNDM. Yeah, TNDM trying to show signs of an uptrend, right? So it's up 2.69% on the day. Had a really nice push up. I want to give it a little bit more time to see if it continues to make higher highs and stuff like that. So JNUG just broke above 940, so it looks like it's really trying to make higher highs. So I would rather focus again on getting something for a good deal, even as a day trade. And you should be well aware of, if it's something that's showing signs of an uptrend pattern, to be able to identify the low points, the high points, and to wait for the bounce before entering your position, right? Yeah, SFIX still showing signs of a sell-off. Yes, it's at its potential support, and it can show signs of a reversal, but as of right now, definitely not showing any indication of an uptrend. On the 1 day 1 minute chart, or based on yesterday's pattern, I think was one of the first times that it tried to break its pattern where it was getting rejected by this SMA line, and then just recently broke above it again. It wasn't even 1 day of confirmation. It was just a couple hours right before the market closed, and as of right now. So again, as long as it continues to make higher highs, it's something that we could potentially pay attention to. Let's just make sure that we're selective and patient with that, entry point. GEL, trending down. It's down, right? So I like this because it's at a potential support where, based on previous patterns, it makes sense on why it can reverse. So simply what we can do is, add it to our list and then watch it maybe a little bit closer. So I like that. Thank you again, William. Siri. Okay, overall direction is trending down on this. So no signs of a reversal just yet, no higher highs being made, and really no consolidation. It just continues to make lower lows. So wouldn't be a huge focus for me. We already talked about CROX, right? Okay. Again, they have to be in ticker call out format if you want me to break them down. Okay, so PayPal is showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Overall resistance, at around 92. It's right on that SMA line, so hopefully we can start seeing signs of a recovery. But it looks like after its earnings report, it really started to push up. Now we're kind of at a price point where it's very overbought. Not too sure if it has much more to continue to push up. SMA line used to be a previous support, and it makes sense on why it can act as a new resistance. So I already have my alert set on that one. Appreciate that, Nick. Joel Willem, there we go. Oh, I like that. Thank you again, Matt. Check that out. Okay. So I'm just gonna set an alert here. So I feel like this follows. Okay, yeah, the S&P 500. Alrighty. Ticker symbol PM. A little bit more on the overbought side, so not something that I'm huge or a huge fan of. You see how it's a little bit more on the overextended side, like the RSI, like the MACD. Just ask yourself, is this the best deal that I can get, right? That's why we have this criteria checklist. Make sure that there's like 2 or 3 that like you highlight that are like the things that maybe you lack in the most and waiting for. Again, just make it most apparent to you. Okay, let's see. So when you set your alerts, are you looking at the 180-day chart as your setting is on the SMA line? So, I mean, I look at the 180-day chart to understand its overall kind of direction. But if you've noticed, I go down to like the 20-day 1-hour chart to look at maybe closer patterns, and then maybe the 5-day 5-minute chart to look at even closer patterns, and then the 1-day 1-minute chart if I see value in it for, as of today. Or maybe trying to look at how it traded yesterday. Here we go. Let's see if this thing continues to push up. Okay, so do you have a form to make a good ticker call out? No, I don't have like anything like the criteria checklist that looks like that nice for a ticker call out format. I just thought because we already know the ticker call out format that we didn't really need it, but just let me know. Here we go, ticker symbol SQQ. Are we going to get a bounce and still continue to trade, or is it a little bit more on the overbought side? Again, during pre-market hours, something that we want to take into consideration is that its pre-market highs was right around this general area, right around 1380. So, something that we want to be well aware of. All right, I'm just going to do these breakdowns, and I know that it's barely like 30 minutes into our stream, So one thing that I was going to announce is that the crude oil report is today. So the crude oil report is today, and that's in about 30 minutes. So make sure that you're aware of that, and that will most likely affect DRIP and any other crude oil stock or ETF, such as like WTI, Gush, if I'm not mistaken, UWT and DWT and stuff like that. So please be sure to be aware of that. I'm going to do these breakdowns and then kind of go from there. So yeah, so Gush as of right now should be trending down on the day, right? So it's trending down. Tried to show signs of recovery as of yesterday. We'll kind of see how its overall direction is. On the 180-day chart, I know it is an aggressive sell-off. It has some margin for recovery. So it's something that you can look forward to, but just understand that it's a descending pattern and that there's a form of risk investing in a descending pattern. So something that you want to be well aware of. Ticker symbol FE, First Energy. As of right now, it's down. It's trending down on the day. It's in between the middle and bottom view up, but it's up based on how it closed yesterday. Looking at the 5-day 5-minute, potential resistance, 20-day 1 hour. Okay. And then as it earnings reports pretty soon. Also, it's a little bit more on the overbought side, so it makes sense on why it has more margin to sell off before it continues to uptrend. Especially with its up-and-coming earnings report, I just have to make sense to myself that, hey, like this thing's overbought, it has an earnings report coming up. It's probably not something that I want to buy because if I end up holding, then I can go through that earnings report and it could end up really selling off. Again, it's just not a good deal. So because of that, I would simply stay away myself. PBR. So PBR, very overbought. Not a good deal, very overextended, consolidating. It's not even making higher highs anymore, and it makes sense on why it could sell off before it continues to uptrend. So just something that I would take into consideration before going in, especially for a swing trade position. Holy moly, you guys have some call outs today. TLRY. I'm not going to be breaking down it. I'm sorry, Sahil. It's just, all right, TLRY. I absolutely hate pump and dumps. And this is one of the main ones that was, being promoted. Huge push up, huge manipulation. Look at the volume and look at the volume. All of a sudden start to die out, and the price action follows. Again, it's all influenced by its demand. It's all influenced by its volume, and it's all being manipulated as, it went from highs of 300 all the way down back to 121, and it would not surprise me to see this thing back at $20 or sub 20. Okay, Mason, super happy to hear that. So you're a little hesitant to take any trades. Now I'm guessing because you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with ETFs, that it's something that, you're considering. That's what it's all about. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable as time goes on, that's what's important. So NDLS, showing signs of a sell-off as of right now, no change in direction. So what I can do is I can set my alert for the break above $11 until that direction changes. But until then, not really a huge focus of mine. Overall direction trending down on this, not something that I would trade. And HTC. Okay, so this one's showing signs of it making higher highs as an up-and-coming earnings report. It rides the EMA line pretty nicely. As it becomes overbought, it pulls back. So just understand that it's pushed up right now, and it can pull back before it continues to uptrend. So something that you want to be well aware of. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop with the breakdowns there. I think I did more breakdowns in that 10-minute, 15-minute period than I do in like almost a normal live stream. But yeah, so I'm just going to talk about now the ones that I'm going to close out the live stream in just a little bit. I want you guys to focus on just solely what is actively trending up. And if you're having trouble identifying direction, then what do we do? That's a good question, Daniel. It depends if I see that the ETF that sells off, if it's bullish on the day, then it makes sense. If it's not, probably if Gush and all those other ones sell off, it's a very active descending pattern. So yes, if I buy the dip, it can recover, but it's also, it might not. So yeah, so back to the basics. Don't take a position. Again, keeping it very simple. If you're having trouble understanding its direction, just be patient and don't force your trade altogether, right? So as of right now, we're getting a lot of consolidation on DGAS, but again, no signs of an uptrend, no signs really of a downtrend, and maybe it's not worth the investment as of right now, right? So that's why I'm going to step away. When it comes down to JNUG, we talked about it, and this is when it was down here right around 933. It's starting to make higher highs, and you just have to ask yourself, even if it's making higher highs, that's irrelevant to you. You're someone that's extremely selective. You're someone that should be extremely patient and selective with what you choose to invest in. Yes, it's making higher highs, but the second question that you want to ask yourself is the margin of profit worth it? It might be to me, but it doesn't mean that it will be to you, right? So as you identify a pattern and a direction that you might find attractive, now you have to go into the question of is the opportunity cost or the margin of profit worth it? Something that you might want to answer. SQQ is doing the same thing, showing signs of an uptrend, trying to make higher highs, calculate the margin of profit and see if it's worth it. DRIP as of right now is doing the same thing with its overall resistance based off yesterday's patterns at around $8. Make sure that's something that you're aware of. LEBD is the one that's pushing up on the day as of right now. Remember, yesterday it pushed up and then it sold off all day. Be patient and be quick to identify when there might be a shift of direction. As of right now, AMRX is not doing anything that would be in my favor. A lot of consolidation with UYAS right now for ticker symbol CROX. Really nice push up, showing signs of a potential uptrend. Could it really start making higher highs? Something that we might want to look a little bit more into, right? This is CROX, so I wouldn't identify the margin to be huge. It would be something that would be a little bit more consistent, but yeah. And then USLV, again, just a lot of consolidation, not much of an uptrend as of right now, because USLV follows /SI. So try to understand its direction as of right now. It really is trading between kind of like the middle and bottom VWAP. It hasn't been making higher highs, so I would say that silver as of right now is a little bit more bearish than it is bullish. It's still trying to identify its direction. /GC, trying to go from bearish to bullish on the day, right? And then natural gas, really trying to go from, and this is why it's so like, if you see that it's too inconsistent, don't trade it. But it went from bearish to bullish and then possibly back to a bearish pattern. So yeah, something that we want to take into consideration. But that's really just it. We have to go set up for, well, a lot of you guys know, if you guys follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, we have Weston, who's our partner for flipping wheels, in town for the next couple of days. And one of the things that we're going to today is an auction to show you guys kind of how he does some of his buying at an auction for those that wanted to get a little bit more into that. So the auction, we have to be there at 7:45. It's 7:06 a.m. So I wanted to go live. I wanted to just really focus on you guys. I wasn't actually going to take a position. I'm happy that I was able to make the $140 profit. And profit's profit. It's green. Maybe I can grab some guac today, right? Chipotle. I didn't grab any guac yesterday. I was really focused on, trying to spend as little as possible. I had a really great day yesterday trading. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple and focus on, whatever's showing signs of an uptrend. And if nothing is meeting your criteria, trust me, I'm right there with you. I thought about it this morning. I'm just like, I'm really struggling to identify something that's trending up. You could continue to work on it, and then you can build your watch list. But if just nothing is really working for you, guess what? Don't take a position. Let's keep it simple. So wanted to wish you guys an absolute amazing rest of your Wednesday. Watch out for that crude oil report in the next couple of minutes. And please keep me up to date with any questions that you might have that's already not answered in the course. Thank you guys again for your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team. So, or less white, how do you find good swing trades in a market like this? Again, consistency. And if you don't identify that consistency, then you might want to be a little bit more selective. So it's going to be harder to identify. I just wanted to make sure that I opened and answered your question. Thank you.